Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show where after the collision, we sift through
the wreckage.
The wreckage. I am your host, Jimmy T. He is my co-host, the best in the world, Jamie the Vet Williams, and our very special guest. You've been on quite a few times recently. I don't even know if we should call you a guest, but that professor, the magnanimous, the glorious one. Welcome back to that wreckage. What's going on, fellas? I'll start with you, Vet. What's happening, man?
Oh, just loving the world. It's a great day. It's the start of my weekend, and I get a text message asking if it's okay if the professor joins us, and I go, what kind of question is that? Why isn't he joining us every week? And apparently we're not the only people that think that, because this ain't Texas, and the chat says, why can't this be a permanent 3-man booth here? I don't know. I don't have the answers.
That's up to the professor.
We'll find out.
Hey, man. And I've told you this already, Prof, that it doesn't matter if you're here every week, man. That's how much we love you over here, bro. So, yeah, who knows? We'll see.
I appreciate the love from the Magnamounes and all that stuff. But you know what? We have to be realistic here, guys, and for everybody in the chat. Sometimes I'm available on the weekend, sometimes I'm not. But you know what? I know it's an open invitation, so every time I'm available, I'm on the wreckage. But I have to say this, with all the Halloween theme that was going on, how many people in the chat when they were growing up, they were afraid of Freddy Krueger. They were afraid of Michael Myers. They were afraid of Jason Voorhees. But you know what I'm afraid of in 2025, guys?
Oh, no. Who's that?
I'm afraid of Tony Khan.
Oh.
I'm afraid of AEW television. And most importantly, I'm afraid of the ratings because I don't know what they're posting on Max to know what the ratings are for Collision and Dynamite. That's what scares the bejesus out of me during the Halloween season. Thank God it's over and we can celebrate Christmas.
You fear for your life, Professor. That's what you're saying.
And I hate this. I will hate the sequels, Vet. I will hate the trilogies of the AEW Dynamite ratings and all that shit. But I just keep going. I keep persevering.
Yeah, I think we're so far we're up to AEW 5, The Curse of Tony Khan.
Well, you know what? Funny you guys mentioned 5, but did you see all the champions in WWE? Funny enough.
Yeah. Apparently they all came from somewhere.
They did, apparently. Allegedly. Even Punk apparently was produced in AEW first, according to the sickos. I'm just saying, allegedly that's what they think.
So what you're saying is Tony Khan has an eye for talent? Well, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
he knows how to Punk.
I mean, shit. But yeah, it's amazing though when you think about it. We've got everyone pretty much, other than the tag team belts, are all former AEW alumni, should I say. I mean, is it done by design, Vet, do you think?
Maybe a little. Maybe they do it a little bit here and there, and then they realize, oh, wait a minute, actually, we could actually do this. What if? But I think I would hope they put more thought into it than that. I mean, any of the people, with the exception of Ricky Saints, anybody that has a belt right now, I mean, it's not like it's a bad choice, really. And I don't even know if Ricky Saints is a bad choice necessarily. I just didn't like the way they went about it. It just wasn't believable, just hasn't been believable. It's they're going to Roman Reigns him, and then they're going to not know what to do when the fans don't care, and then they're going to turn him heel, and yada, yada, yada. You see where this is going. There's always the same thing that happens because for some reason, no matter how many years of experience the people in WWE Creative have, apparently they just still don't know how to get anybody over. Everybody that's over there is in spite of what the office is doing. So I just find it amusing. Some of the choices that they make, and as I've heard other people put it, the honeymoon period is over. It's time to work. It's time to work on this marriage. And all that we seem to be seeing a lot of fans saying, and of course it's just the internet fans. I don't know how much the real fans care, but all the, the internet fans are just saying, too much Triple H, So, that's kind of where we're at.
You're right. The honeymoon's over. Now it's time to go to therapy. And that's what it is with the IWC.
Yeah.
That's what it is with today's wrestling fans. And just to see, Triple H, and I know we don't want to talk about Triple H on the wreckage, but
we don't need more of him. We don't need even more of him.
I mean, you can look on the logo. Where's Triple H on the logo for the wreckage? Jimmy, you got to fix it. You got to fix it. We need more Triple H. That's what it is.
I might as well take our bin, right, and put Triple H right in the center there, posing like this, old school Triple H.
Like
but that would be funny, though, I must admit. Actually, before we move on, do you guys like this layout or prefer the triangles 3-way layout, by the way?
Look, I never thought of that.
Just out of curiosity.
I kind of like the triangle, but
so do I.
I'm not sure. We'll let the people decide. We could put a poll up or something, let the people vote on it.
Yeah, let us know, guys, by the way, in the chat. It will be very much appreciative. But anyway, for the time being, let's get into some news, actually. I mean, not that there's not really much going on. Other than I'm going to say, and I know you guys won't care, but hell,
wait one second, Jimmy. Let me cut you off there, okay? Cut you off.
Wait.
Sell to the corner, okay?
All right.
So I want to ask you guys what you think about something. Now, I didn't see the thing, so I've only seen the text out of context. I didn't hear the guy say it or whatever, but it's just relevant because of what we were talking about and best in the world and all that. So you guys seen the thing where Tyrus was saying that CM Punk should not be going for a championship and should be like helping to elevate the young talent, right? Did you see him say that?
I actually missed that. Funny enough.
You saw that, right? Okay, so if anybody out there has the context for him saying this, because if I'm just reading this, I saw this, like I said, in a text form, not the interview itself. I didn't listen to him. But it sounds like he's acting like this shit is real. Like CM Punk is just out there, like actually like booking himself into these title situations and not because like, I don't know, Seth Rollins, shoulder fell apart or any of these things of like this. Like, do you really like, does he really mean this? Or is he like being sarcastic? Like, was he joking? Cause I know he's got a good sense of humor.
I think he totally meant it, Vet. I mean, remember he was the NWA champion. That's real. That's real wrestling. It's not like Billy Corgan just wanted to put the belt on him for no reason. Yeah. I mean, he was on Fox. I mean, he's on the Gutfield show. I mean, but no. It was about his talent, his ability. Yeah. He moves merch. He puts butts in seats, even though it's 500 people in the armory or whatever the case may be. But he puts butts in seats, so it is real to him. Never forget that. It's still real to Tyrus. Damn it.
And if he pins you, you're not kicking out for a shoot. That's a fact too.
No.
So yeah. So okay. So he does. It is real to Tyrus, but he's still saying that he should elevate young talent. Got it. Okay. Making sure that we're all on the same page here. But I just found that amusing because, come on, right? but to bounce off of that and throw it to you guys. Okay, well, he did win the belt. So, like, what do you think about that? Do you got a problem with it, Jimmy?
No, I've got no problem with it. I mean, what's wrong with people these days? Are wrestlers literally becoming marktards, still? Are they suddenly get worked by the workers? I mean, what's going on here? Who cares if he's world champion? From what I've noticed, hasn't CM Punk been working with all the young talent anyway?
Right. That's what another thing I had a question. Like, does he not realize that that's already was happening and that letting them win a fake match over him is not as good as like the advice he can give them backstage and those type of things? Like, is that
right?
I don't know like what he's really thinking, but anyway, go ahead.
Weird. Absolutely weird, man. That's all I'm going to say. And I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. I don't think Punk will just laugh at that shit. If anything, I guarantee you that's WWE making him champion. I'm sure he wouldn't have been like, yo, Trips, Hunter, make me world champion, please. Please, I'm begging you. And make me main event WrestleMania. I guarantee you never said that shit.
Can Can I counterpoint to you, Vet?
Oh, well, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want.
I'm not gonna defend. Well, I don't care that Punk is the champion. That's fine because we know the logistics. Seth Rollins is hurt. He's injured. I'm just talking about the climate of today. We just laugh and joke about Tyrus. We're laughing and joking about today's wrestling culture, whether it's the IWC, whether it's today's generational wrestlers, Vet. I mean,
yeah.
When certain wrestlers like or Jey Uso go on Instagram or TikTok and do these cryptic messages just for the IWC to say, see, Triple H doesn't know anything. See, Triple H is fumbling on future talent and more money and all this stuff.
But he's not. That's the thing. Because we know what the build is, right?
No, we know that. But I'm just saying, in today's climate, and Vet can harp on this better than both of us, Jimmy. You know, the wrestlers want to use Instagram and social media to create buzz for themselves and probably to reel in those mark cards in certain instances. But I do want to push back and say that some of these wrestlers go to the extreme of showing that supposedly their frustration, whether I believe it or not, Vet. I mean, it's there in black and white. If you go on Twitter, oh, somebody looks frustrated. Oh, someone looks like they want to get out of their contract. Andrade. But anyway, neither here nor there. I'm just saying, just using those examples, those little quirky examples. But with today's IWC, with today's Mark towards Vet, what say you? I mean, I understand what you're coming from with the Punk thing, but again, we cannot deny the other side. Certain wrestlers might be frustrated. Certain wrestlers, wins and losses really matter to them for some strange reason. I'd rather have the check clear, but again, I'm happy. I'd rather go to catering being full and happy. Well, that's just me. But Vet, I know the wrestling business, you want to make more money. I get that. You want to be in the main event scene. You want to get more TV time. But if you're going to use social media to vent your frustrations, then you got Mark Tars with their Twitter accounts, those AEW sicko Twitter accounts, the WWE troll Twitter accounts, trying to push back and say, yo, Triple H, yo, Tony Khan, you're fumbling on these guys and venting more frustration. What's going on here?
Well, I don't know. All I know is that just like real life, the internet still, as for all its, its flaws, it's still a mirror of real life. So like when you're on social media, of course you still have the strong silent types, that don't have to just throw everything out there. That's why my name's Opinion Haver, not Opinion Giver, So there's those kind of people. There's the kind of people that really run their mouth but don't say much. They're just out there for the attention. People like that in real life. There's people that always just come in talking loud and don't really nothing. No, you try to have a conversation with them, it never goes anywhere because they can't focus or So it's the same thing with internet comments and social media and stuff like that. I don't really give a shit about the fans' opinions because none of them really understand a lot of the things that they talk about, especially in the, in the wrestling space. But I was just more interested in, you guys and your thoughts on the, what do you really think of this situation now that this is what we have? I mean,
does he not realize though that this is all for, I'm assuming, and I'm pretty sure we're all right about this and can agree, is all for the final line is for Punk to drop it, in my opinion, to Bron Breakker, man.
Yeah,
that's where it's going to be leading to, right?
I mean, it could be.
You guys agree?
It could be.
I don't think Punk is the issue. I think the issue, I don't know. We're not going to talk about Saturday night's main event, but I'm just saying, I think the issue was more about Cody not losing his belt to Drew. I don't think people are mad at Punk. Really? I think Punk by proxy was the one that had to win because the possibilities are endless. Him feuding, continuing the feud with the Vision and stuff like that, or new challengers, maybe another match with Gunther down the line. You never know. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania time, you never know. He's coming back. So, build up for something like that. But I'm just saying, I think more people were a little bit perturbed. I like to use that word, perturbed with Drew not getting that kind of win on Saturday night's main event. I think it was more needed for that one. I think Punk needed to win by proxy. Jey Uso is almost bulletproof with the eating. That was the thing. But I think people were a little bit more mad with Drew not winning.
Well, Liz said, Drew is never going to win, which is a problem in itself.
Well, never going to win, she's saying.
Right. But that's kind of this is the thing. Like, if you paint yourself in corners with no plan, then when the House of Cards falls apart, like Seth Rollins' shoulder, then it really gets exposed. It wasn't going to be good anyway. Like if Seth Rollins was champion, no, there wouldn't be any good television happening. It's, so let's not get it twisted, but even so, like it gets even worse and more exposed when you have to go to plan B or C or D. So, in Punk's case, it's kind of like, he kind of needs to win from the standpoint of you can only call yourself the best in the world for so long and not be the best in the world, right?
Right.
Like at some point you got to have some validity to it.
Yeah, you need the receipts, and the belt is the biggest receipt.
You need a credibility, and as what you're going towards, Jimmy, is hopefully that credibility can make somebody down the road or whatever.
That's what I'm hoping and assuming. That's where we're going. I could be way off too.
But even if that happens, if Braun becomes the world heavyweight champion by dethroning CM Punk somewhere, that's really not gonna make a difference because they don't have a plan for what happens after that either. It'll just be the same fucking guy coming out, except he has the belt on his shoulder. There will be no difference whatsoever in any of the programming, in anything he does or says. It's going to be the same show, except the belt's on his shoulder, right? And that's just the reality that we live in. So I just think it's funny. Well, and like for Drew McIntyre, it's the opposite problem. Like Drew McIntyre is doing everything he can on his own to try to get over. And then he's not going to be the guy. Like they're just not going to have him be the guy. And so it gives him, but he's like getting over to the point where he's supposed to be a heel and everybody should be laughing at him for failing against Cody Rhodes or always failing. Right. But because the lines have been so blurred, and this is to what Professor was talking about. So now the marks are in the locker room because the lines have been blurred for 25 years with things of like going back to, whether it's Wrestling Secrets Exposed, Tough Enough, any of the stuff that, Beyond the Mat, any of those things, even though, well, I'll say this, Beyond the Mat was not something that the WWE did too, but Tough Enough was, right? Like that was a big deal because now you're doing damage to your own product. So the more you expose the business, the more you have people cheering for the wrong things, right? You're cheering or booing the booking. You're cheering or booing whether you get to see somebody go through a table or not. Like these are the wrong reasons, right? So now you have Drew McIntyre as a heel doing his best to be a heel, but what's the best way to be a babyface in 2025, guys?
Be a cool heel.
Right. So now when Drew McIntyre goes at somebody on social media, like that gets over with the people, and then they start to feel the sympathy for him not because of what happens on the TV show, but they feel the sympathy for him because, we know he's a good guy in real life and he's entertaining on social media. And I want him to be rewarded for his creativity and humor and all these things. You're not even looking at the character he's playing, which is a whiny bitch.
Right.
Right. Now you're starting to think now the fans, instead of saying, ha ha, you lost again. Like they're like, don't you think Drew McIntyre has a point? That this is the wrong attitude to have if you're really trying to build drama between, the classic confrontations of good and evil. Right.
Well, to be fair here, Drew is the plan B because originally, beginning of the year, that was Kevin Owens. He was exposing what Cody Rhodes was doing.
That's true.
He
was
being the frustrated one, and he was getting over with the crowd. So when he got injured, somebody had to step into that limelight and that spotlight and that kind of character, quote unquote. And Drew has been the perfect character to be the plan B. At least there's a plan B for that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just this whole, it's a whole can of worms. I shouldn't have even opened it, but it's like a thing of, because you keep telling people wrestling is fake, right? So the only thing the people can believe in is, that these guys are going out there, putting their bodies on the line and sacrificing themselves for your entertainment. So now you have a sympathy and an appreciation for them, no matter what role they play. So Kevin Owens has given up his body for you over the years, and it's breaking down on him now, and he has a family because he always talks about having a family. Yeah, I fight for a prize. I fight for my family, whatever.
Right.
Like, does that sound like a heel? Like, but so he's people love these guys because they know, damn, they put it all on the line for little old me. Like they're trying to entertain me, and they're taking bumps on the apron and bumps through the ladders and bumps through tables and all this other stuff. Like, you just look at them appreciating the art for what it is, but you're failing at your job as the fan to like be the part of the show that's like dictating the moral compass here. So it gets people less invested. And that's the kind of stuff that makes people say, oh, SmackDown's on. Well, I gotta take out the trash, and I got some other bills to pay, and I got some other stuff to do. Still got to take a shower. Like it's missable now, because you're just going to catch up on it, and it doesn't matter anyway. You're not that concerned with what your favorite person is going to do, because your favorite person might be a fucking heel. So, anyways.
And before we move on, I just want to point out, like, to me, Drew, once you talk about the American dream, right? For example, he's right. He is the epitome of the American dream. He's an immigrant that became an American citizen, became successful in America. How can you hate on that? Do you know what I mean? You can't hate on that, which is bizarre in itself. And on top of that, he reminds me of Bret Hart in 1997 in many ways. You know what I mean? When he was heel, but he was talking a lot of truth, if you know what I mean. So I'm intrigued with what they do with Drew, but I'm worried for him before we move on, because I don't actually think they know what to do with Drew still.
They don't know what to do with anybody. There's not one person they know what to do with. Not one.
Well, that's sad.
Jimmy, this is what I call hot news here. This was a great hot news segment.
Absolutely. Because you know what? There really isn't any news. I mean, do you guys care about Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall versus the Callis family set for AEW Full Gear?
What? Oh, because they need a pre-show. They need a tailgate brawl match. Okay, yeah.
Do you guys care about that? Absolutely not. So, well, actually, in staying with AEW news, though, apparently Warner Brothers Discovery is seeking sale of company, and Netflix is reportedly interested in potentially buying WBD. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Anything to say, boys?
Professor?
Again, this is very complicated, and I'm not gonna. When you hear Jimmy, I don't know where you got the information from, but I bet it's from the size of the Meltzers and the BJ Bethels and stuff like that.
You really want to know?
Yeah, I really want to know.
Let's see where it said. Well, doesn't say.
Well, I think this has been reported in regular news, but of course, right. I know all the dirt sheets would have picked up on it.
Yeah, the dirt sheets are trying to like spin this a little bit more, because again, I think somebody is trying to say Paramount was going to be the one that's going to ultimately buy WBD. They're the ones that are the only ones that wanting to acquire WBD. And then the dirt sheets are saying, nah, that ain't it. There's a lot of bidders out there. The Netflixes, maybe Apple TV and shit like that. But I think by proxy, it will and always will be Paramount. It's for them to get the stakehold on that one. But it is all about to try to, salvage that stock of WBD, because it's down to like, I wish Colin Wysong was here, but he would tell me how the stock of WBD is. But I remember it's like $12 right now, in comparison to TKO stock, which is about $150 right now. So you get the math right there, guys. So if you're trying to drum up any stock valuation with WBD with the apparent bidders of Netflix, Apple TV, yada, 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 it is what it is on that. So, again, I know where Meltzer and BJ Belfast is going to go with, they're trying to make WBD hot. But WBD has been, they've made decision after decision that's, like CNN, that debacle there and shit like that. And they've been incurring a lot of debt. Oh, $22. Thank you, Liz. But see,
that's bad.
But what Liz is just proving, like I said, I heard $12. I remember one day it was like $12. So they raised it up to $22, maybe because of that information. That's what it is. You try to drum it up right now, so this way the valuation can at least concur for a better sell. So everybody can, get some money out of this. That's all it is.
Well, I was going to say this is exactly what the report says. When you brought up Paramount, it says here Paramount Skydance Corporation has been preparing a major bid to potentially acquire Warner Brothers Discovery, current media broadcast partner of AEW. Paramount's initial bid for WBD was rejected earlier this month due to WBD not being pleased with the low amount offered. That's interesting. Besides Paramount, Netflix and Comcast are among the interested parties for a potential purchase of WBD. Deadline reported that
you know who's leaking that? The WBD people. They want to say Netflix.
Which makes sense.
They want to say Comcast to drum up
so they can draw more buyers. Right, exactly. No, absolutely, for sure. And by the way, it was Deadline that reported on this. I don't know what's Deadline. Is that even credible?
Deadline is like a Variety. Industry magazine, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is
like
it?
Variety or Hollywood Reporter or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's who's reporting it, by the way. So I don't know. It's interesting, but should AEW be worried, guys? Anybody? Do you think they should be worried, or do you think they'll be okay to move to another network? Just say if things don't work out, Vet.
That just depends what kind of deals that Tony Khan can pull off. It really, because he's going to keep that. It doesn't matter if it only has to go to YouTube. He'll do that. He's not going to shut down the company. Because you guys, I swear to God, people that report on this keep forgetting that this man owns the whole fucking thing.
Right.
And he has money. He doesn't need, it's not like he's clearly not running this for profit to the point where, like, if he can't make a profit, he'll close it. He will sink every dollar he has into it before he lets it go down. So yeah, it won't end over a buyout like Labrat said, because it can't. There's just one person that you can put everything on. Now, he will, like I said, it may be sad if, you know, and look pathetic if he just has to go to YouTube as a platform, but he will do that. The AEW will not close. But, you know, as far as Warner Brothers is concerned, this is what I would say to all the potential buyers. Okay. Leave trash in the gutter where you find it. Don't pick it up and take it home and try to make it something. Okay. Don't put it up on the fridge. Don't hang it up on the wall. Just leave trash in the gutter where you find it. Warner Brothers is a joke. They deserve to die in obscurity for the money that they've squandered to get to the point where their stock is worth $22.
That's bad, man.
Are you fucking kidding me? Warner Brothers, one of the most legendary names in the history of entertainment, is trading at a price that was like, you know, back when I was in grade school, like this is what like Walmart stock was selling for.
Just remember, Jimmy and Vet, ever since people made fun of Black Adam, The Rock is laughing right now after all this. Karma is a bitch for WBD, and The Rock is laughing, whether we like it or not. Maybe he'll buy it.
Oh my God, imagine that. Oh, well, good luck to everybody involved. But you're right, Vet. Now that I think about it, he's not going anywhere. He will put on YouTube, and heck, he can make a lot of money off YouTube, really. I mean, if they get the views, so why not? I'm sure they'll still average around that 200,000 mark, right? I mean, I can't see why I wouldn't. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens for sure. In other news, no shit. There's really no other news. I mean, I guess NXT ratings are slightly up. I mean, cool. There's really, there's nothing to report, man. So I guess it's time because we did do 30 minutes of talking about two news segments. I think we can put our sifting gloves on and start getting into that wreckage.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Fright Night Dynamite.
Oof,
as you can see there, that if you didn't see the show, the professor's got a beautiful facsimile of the theme and logo and everything there. Ooh, he disappeared. Ooh, ghost professor. So we're starting out hot with exactly what everybody wants to see. It's Orange and Darby versus Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta in a tornado tag.
What a match.
Man, how can one possibly describe this match?
Don't even ask me because I dig it.
It's all about the story. You know this, guys. It's just
all about the story.
The four combustible elements between the conglomeration and the Death Riders. It's been so captivating television, guys. Even in the chat, they cannot deny this. You cannot lie, Tia Kupana. This has been great story that we've been seeing every Wednesday on Dynamite. And just to
I'll
add
take
Fright
it.
Night to it just makes it all the better.
I'll say one thing. The one thing I did enjoy about this match is Brian Danielson saying about what's with Garcia's shorts. That's the only thing that popped me, man. And that was the only thing I liked about that match. Because even I was like, the fuck is up with the shorts? But anyway, that's it. That's all I got to say about that match. For real.
Yeah. Well, I don't have much else. I will just say that that John Moxley must really be like a real mentor to these guys, because Wheeler Yuta taps out to the sharpshooter. So I mean, that's, you know, he was trained well. He knows once you get in that hold, it's over. So just give up. Don't even try it. You know?
Oh man.
Wait, Vec, you know, before we move on to the next segment, because I need to ask this question here, and Jimmy can chime in too, but you know, you just said it about the sharpshooter spot, right? Remember, Darby Allin, after all this stuff, and we laughed about this weeks ago when I talked about this, after all the murderous things that they were trying to do with each other, that Darby beats Mox with the sharpshooter. Now, just like Vet eloquently says, Wheeler Yuta, or Wheeler Useless, whatever you want to call him, taps out to the sharpshooter. So my question, Vet, is this: is like, what is Tony Khan trying to do here? Because again, me being a sicko, an objective sicko here, watching every week on at least Wednesday. I can't say for Saturday, but I watch every week on Wednesday. But objectively, trying to symbolically tell me that Darby Allin has gotten into the heads of the Death Riders now, that all of them, maybe Claudio, maybe Wheeler, maybe even Daniel Garcia in a future episode, will tap out to the sharpshooter. Is that supposed to be symbolically to get to the mind of John Moxley that his power is coming down right now, that the empire, the Death Riders, is coming down? It's going to crumble to us? Why are you laughing,
That's a
Jimmy?
tough question. That's a tough question, dude.
It's a loaded question.
That is tough.
It's loaded, but like, I feel like we fired all the shots last time you were on the show, because I explained how they could have ended this whole thing and how there's actually nowhere to go from where they went.
They're not going with that. I got the Renee.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's like when you have the perfect ending, even if you go out on a, like, let's say it's a proverbial high note. Cause obviously for everything that I laid out before and you just laid out again, it was stupid, right? So like, it's not the ideal note, but it's the highest note you were going to get. You made the guy quit, whether, you know, whatever excuse you want to say, you know, whatever, sharpshooter, whatever. I quit match, Moxley quit. Okay. So there's nowhere to go from there yet, except for down, and they go down. Because getting a submission over Wheeler Yuta is not like, it's not building from John Moxley giving up. It's just like, I don't know. It's there's a lot of analogies I can make that I just don't want to make. Let's just say, like, this is the problem. You can't keep things going. You have to know when enough is enough. And yeah. To answer Jack Henry's question, I don't know. I don't even know which one Darby's doing.
It is, look, for real, it's the Scorpion Deathlock, but it's still the sharpshooter, okay?
No. It's the Scorpion Shooter. That's what it is. He's
Scorpion Shooter, yeah.
Combine both of them.
I think, well, I mean, if you, to get technical, I mean, obviously Bret Hart is, you would only call it the sharpshooter if Bret Hart does it. I know other people have called it the sharpshooter, or it's basically tied to your company. Like, if you do this in WWE, you're going to call it a sharpshooter. If you do it in AEW or any other company, you're going to call it a Scorpion Deathlock. Bret Hart always put the left leg through and laced the legs around the left leg, and Sting always went right leg through and laced the legs around the right leg. So there's technically that difference, but I mean, I don't know which one Darby does. I never paid enough attention to know which leg he uses, so it doesn't matter.
True. Well, technically, Bret did say he stole that off Sting, so Sting was doing it before him. So
well, Conan taught it to him. Yeah,
was it? Mm-hmm. No, really, Conan taught Bret how to do it. You're saying?
That's what they both said.
So as Max Moon back in those days.
Yep. That would have, that would have been the only time that would have made sense. They would have been in the same place.
Well, that's why I mentioned it, right? 100% for sure. Interesting. Jack also says Sting is his mentor, so I assumed it was a death. Well, yeah.
Well, let's go with that. It's
Exactly.
the Darby lock.
The Darby lock. Yeah.
All right. So Hook arrives with full luggage, and
shit.
Like this is what I would imagine Mercedes like arrives at the airport with. Like this is the amount of stuff Hook was carrying. He used to just have a backpack. What happened to that? But anyway, yeah, he's got a full luggage set, and he's basically saying like to the camera, but really to Samoa Joe, I'm not going to let you advance. Okay, so
I just want to quickly point out, Zane, you're right about Japan, but then he changed his story. By the way, I'm talking about Brett with the sharpshooter. But anyway, I'm assuming that's what he means. I've heard that before too. But anyway, continue on, please.
Yeah. So Renee and Don are here, and they're trying to have an interview, and then the Young Bucks walk by, and then Don invites them into the family, and he even gives them a special intro. Like he gives them the Hechicero entrance, basically, for the Fright Night Fatal Four-Way, because it's the Young Bucks versus FTR versus Jet Speed versus Jungle Express, and Stokely's on commentary, and
everybody in the chat quiet, because Vince's going to talk about FTR. Very slow. Let's all process this right now. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Hell ready. No, I wasn't watching this shit.
You know what? I was taking his shit during this match.
I know they won. I know they shattered Kevin Knight. But other than that, I couldn't tell you one thing that happened in this match, because you basically put everybody out here that I don't want to watch. Like everybody. Like the only person that even has like a glimmer of something in the future is Kevin Knight, and they beat him. So it doesn't really matter what happened in the rest of this match. Yeah, I can't give any insider commentary. Sorry, Professor. It's gonna have to fall to you.
I think the match was eloquent because FTR carried 3 other tag teams and it was like that. Again, it's not biased; it's just what I saw. But the problem I have with this, Jimmy, is this: we know I wasn't sleeping through it, lad, Brad. I was up. You have to drink some caffeine and all this stuff. But again, I'm not trying to be biased, but we know FTR is going to go, to Full Gear and challenge Brodito for the titles. But the thing I see here is very predictable, and I don't want to go into the future, but we see them. I think we see FTR winning against Brodito, and then we see Edge and Christian coming back, and we see at World's End that they're going to do it for the World Tag Team titles. The problem again I have, and even though I jokingly say story guys, is for Tony, he knows what he wants to do on paper. Just like Vet said weeks ago with me, he has a plan A or to plan B to plan C, but he just doesn't he never tells the story outright on television. Edge and Christian are off of TV for a couple of weeks, and by the way, they'll come back and all this stuff. But again, you got to let it percolate. He just wants to get to the match. That's the only frustrating part I have with that.
I want a climax straight away.
Right. I don't mind seeing FTR against Edge and Christian again for the umpteenth time, but give me some story, give me something on TV so I can be invested in it. That's all we ever asked for. It's just that Tony just wants the match. Yeah, you got an interesting match on paper, and I jokingly said it's sold out Toronto for the pay-per-view, but so what? You got to get it. They were building at least to that match weeks on Dynamite for a reason, and it was interesting to me. I'm not trying to be biased, Jimmy. You know this. But again, FTR does this for me. They invest. Stokely makes me invested in all
and
this.
And you've always said that. Right. And we love Stokely, by the way, in FTR.
Right. But to get to Edge and Christian, and they have not been on TV for weeks, and then they will unequivocally be the number 1 contenders by World's End in December, just makes it just so stupid. That's what it is.
Right.
We see what they want to do. It's just Tony doesn't want to tell that story on TV religiously. That's all I'm going to say.
Vet, anything to say about that?
Yeah. Talk about storytelling. Where's Christian anyway?
I don't know.
Nothing happened to him. I mean, his wife, well, besides divorcing him or whatever, but his wife is fine. He didn't have to leave. He didn't have no TV or movie to go shoot. You know, so like that's just the thing. It's like, oh well, my partner's hurt, so you know, even though I don't like him, so like it's not like so Christian had no business lined up for himself other than he has no business lined up for himself other than being reluctant partners with his old friend, you know what I mean, or brother, whatever you want to call it. He has no other vested interest in this company or chasing a title or having some sort of a thing to do here, even on a side quest, you know. There's nothing,
and they never even finished the Nick Wayne thing. Did I miss that? Maybe we're on Collision. Did I miss? Oh, okay, I'll just.
But at least Nick Wayne was supposedly broke his leg or whatever. Like, there's a reason why he's not there, even though he has showed up with his broken leg here and there when it needed. But now we have no, you know, matriarchy. We have no. Well, I mean, the dinosaurs over here with Lil Brooks Jensen, but other than that, the matriarchy's off. You know, nothing to do. Kip Sabian's out of a job. Mom's out of a job. Nick's out of a job while he's rehabbing. Christian's out of a job. Like, those people are all gone from TV just because Edge had prior commitments.
Yeah, doing movies. That's what he's doing, actually.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, you're not going to get a story. If anything, they're just going to pause. They're just going to pause whatever's going on until they can get all the players back rather than shift the other players around. I mean, if you just look at SmackDown or whatever, even Kit Wilson has something to do while Elton Prince is hurt or whatever is going on there. Like, at least at least they're using him.
He's released. That guy is released.
No, he's not.
What?
He is.
They released one Pretty Deadly?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Yeah.
He was part of the list.
No way, bro.
No. Not Elton Prince.
I'm going to look this up.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we would have known about that. Surely.
Well,
He's
anyway.
always injured. I mean, that's funny if it is true. I want to look that up, though, because now I'm very intrigued.
All right.
Hey, that's WWE news. Say that for the Smack Attack. We got.
Don't be doing irresponsible reporting here, Professor. I don't. you got to be better than these guys.
No, he's not released, by the way. He's injured.
Well, it is Fright Night, so you know. Woo!
There we go. Even Zane's saying it.
Right. So I mean, but my point is this: like, whatever. Like, even if he like whatever. If Kit Wilson could get a match on TV, then Christian, where are you? That's all I'm saying. Like, whatever. So anyway, speaking of getting a match on TV, we get a package on Hang Person and Joe. Okay, we don't need to know any more about that. Then it's time for the Don Callis Family Summit.
This I like.
What?
I like this, actually.
Oh, you like this? Okay.
I do. Actually. We're getting to it.
So basically what happens, Don has the whole dinner, the whole Last Supper set up in the ring and everything. And, you know, he's got everybody there and he's going to try to be the peace broker. And then he's going to, you know, try to force the handshake between Okada and Takeshita. And, you know, Takeshita doesn't want to do it. And Don basically begs him and yells at him at the same time to do it. So he finally sticks his hand out. And of course, Okada gives him the finger. So before things get too heated, Don Callis, with all his powers of, you know, creative control, he books a match for Collision, which we'll get to talk about later. You know, that these guys will be in a tag team match to prove that everything's, you know, okay, and we're a family and we can work together. Jimmy, you said you like this.
I like it because it's one of the very few things that's going on in this company that's actually got continuing. I can't even say it properly, but it's a story basically that's actually unraveling every week. Like, they're actually doing something with it, and I actually like where it's going. It's obvious where the end game is, but I'm actually enjoying it. I do like both of them. As I love Okada, obviously, and I am a fan of Takeshita. I said it. I've been saying it lately. He's growing on me, and I like the whole dimension between the both of them. I think this is a good little story. I don't know who. I guess you're gonna have to put Takeshita over, right, when it comes to this, but maybe not. I don't know. Who knows? The point is, it's kind of fun seeing it. I want to know where it goes, and this is the only thing that keeps me intrigued in AEW right now. Everything else doesn't really do it for me.
Okay, fair enough. But Professor, what do you think?
The word, Jimmy, is called continuity. That's what you were
That's
saying.
it. Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't. I tried, but I couldn't do it.
No, actually, I thought of it 2 seconds ago, but that word just popped in my head. So I got you too. I'm helping out
Thank
the
you.
team. That's all it is. But it's entertaining. So, but with the Don Callis family, guys, optically, there's like 25 people in the Don Callis family. So you got to split them into two. I think Tian Kupana said it. Who's gonna be
Wolfpack.
who's gonna be the Wolfpack Callis family? Again, Takeshita is Nash. He's got to be Nash. So we just need a haul. We need 6-packs so we can have the Wolfpack Callis family. And then again, where does Don Callis fall into this? Again, he's trying to play it straight. Like what you're actually seeing is an ECW storyline between RVD and Sabu, and Bill Alfonso just
And make no
controlling.
mistake, bro. This is not
narrative.
Callis. I think Callis booked this whole storyline thing, in my opinion.
No,
But continue on.
but it plays out beautifully because again, he saw this in the ECW playing out because again, Bill Alfonso was calling it down the middle. He wanted his guys to have all the gold, straight down the middle, baby. But he had all the gold. When Sabu was the FTW champion, RBD was the TV champion. They were both the tag team champions. So it works out. It played out beautifully on ECW television. It's playing out beautifully on AEW television. Again, the end game, I guess everybody wants to see is Takeshita and Okada. Would you want to do the IWGP heavyweight title versus the unified titles, title for title? I think that's a little
title.
Yeah, there's two. Well, Okada's got 2 belts, so
you're right.
Title for title. So,
and one of those belts is 3 belts.
It is. It's
Well, shit. It's true.
It's a lot of overkill if you want to do all that for that title, but again, neither here nor there. But the end game is that one-on-one match that I think we all unanimously want to see. It's just where you want to put it. You want to put it at World's End, I guess, or you want to do it for Revolution. Do you want to keep dragging on the story? Because again, the end game, sometimes, we're all intrigued. We all are invested. I like to use that word, but then, you just have to plant it at the right time and do it at the right time. So if you want to drag it, that's a gamble to me. But again, that's a match I think we all want to see. And, Takeshita, if Okada wants to put Takeshita over as the future for New Japan, as the future for international lore, God bless him. Let's see it. I want to see it happen.
They need it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Go for it, Vitt.
Yeah, I don't know. Can Wrestle Kingdom possibly fit into it?
Maybe.
Like Okada work another Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, I think, this is official. I'm not trying to be Professor Meltzer here, but for Wrestle Kingdom, Takeshita is putting up his IWGP belt against, what's his name? The one that looks like Nakamura, Jimmy?
That looks like Nakamura, not from DDT.
No, Yota Tashu, whatever his
Yota Tsuji?
Oh. Yeah. He's got a belt. So it's belt for Wrestle Kingdom. That's the main event.
So that's already been announced.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Well, there goes that. Yeah.
Well, anyway, whatever. That's fine. I was just musing that there. But as far as this feud goes and everything, it is interesting on paper. The only problem is with the execution of it. Neither one of these guys, I talk about Okada being the best, right? But he's not necessarily the best at any one thing. And one of the things that he's not as strong at is, it's actually not even him the problem this time. It's kind of Takeshita's problem. Like his facial expressions and what they do, it's a lot, like the way they just stare at each other with their chin out. Like,
I know you can't
it's not enough.
I know, you're right.
It's not enough for what they're doing. It's too unnatural. It's too staged. It's too phony. So if there was a little more natural body language in everything they were doing, like a little more casual stuff, like more realistic looking stuff, it'd be fine. But it's too stage acting phony right now. So it got even worse, like again in the Collision match. But
I got really bad with that. But I will say one thing: I think Takeshi's trying to be more serious, whereas Okada comes across like he wants to laugh all the time, dude.
Well, it's his character,
right?
Like his character is very like he's playing his character right, but there's nothing.
Right.
It's awkward between them because neither one of them is actually doing anything.
Right. You're right. It's true.
And there's also nothing. There's nothing in between them stopping them from fighting. So they just have to get close and not fight. Right, so it's awkward. You know what I mean? But anyway.
Well, Malaka Jones says, "Vet, you're my homie, but Death Stranding 2 is great, man. Much better than part 1.
I don't play video games to have a second job. Okay, you want to deliver packages in a video game? Go ahead. I don't give a fuck.
Nice.
It might be natural in Japan. Well, I've seen these guys in Japan, and I've seen other guys in Japan, and sometimes it's just not great. But you know what else? Speaking of, we get a Olympia package.
Oh God!
Just to be clear, this is a luchadora named Olympia. It's not like
exactly.
But she's going to be taking on Mercedes on Collision for some reason out of nowhere is what we're finding out here. So, all right, maybe we can lighten the load there that she's got, with all those belts and everything. Then we get Renee with Chris Statlander, and she says she's going to be there on Saturday to support the CEO, and I'll be here for you tonight. Okay. She's got you. So you got a friend in Statlander. Okay, let me ask the professor a question. And Jimmy, it's for you too, but I'm just going to professor first. Chris Statlander is doing this gimmick where she's facetiously talking about lifting up women. I don't get it. Am I missing something? Why is she doing this?
I mean,
is she a heel?
Well, she's now a full-blown Earthling. I remember like years ago she was the alien Statlander, from another universe. So now she's adapted to earthly cultures, and now
she's from Long Beach now, Prof.
Right. So lifting women is a Long Beach thing. Well, whatever. It's a Long Island thing. So you got to lift women in Long Island or whatever the case may be. But my thing is to even say those words that Vet just said, like, I'm here to cheer you on against Olympia. Okay. Again.
She's being sarcastic.
I don't think
why?
It is. I hope it is. But again, I just always keep saying this, for all the Mercedes Moné lovers out there, God bless y'all. But I'll keep asking this. How has the AEW women's division gotten better since Mercedes has been in AEW? I just don't see it. And now
it's gotten better because Mercedes is there.
Well, yeah, technically.
It's a one-person improvement job.
She's the one-person division.
She's got all the belts for everyone else, but she's taking it on herself because that's the kind of selfless individual that she is. Yeah.
Very selfless. She holds the whole company on her back, Prof. Come on.
Why have 12 champions with one belt when you can have one champion with 12 belts? Come on, that's economy.
Hey, yeah, very much so.
That's elitism.
What do you think, Jimmy? Because she's been saying, like, she's been doing this thing where she's like, I'm just here to support women, and like you could tell in her voice that she's trying to sound like she's being sarcastic and facetious. Is she taking a shot at people who used to be there or technically might still be under contract there that have another job that they can do so they don't have to worry about coming here? But or maybe they'll be working with Jacob Fatu soon, or like, is this a shot at anybody that we know in particular, or is she just doing this just because she thinks it's a good idea as a babyface?
You mean a dentist we're talking about?
Could be.
Okay,
that theory has some teeth to it.
Yeah, it does. or it could have been somebody who had sex with Brad Maddox on TV that on web that just
who's that person?
Stuff. Maybe.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I do want to say, I don't know if you guys noticed, but did you see Bailey and Statlander hang out together by any chance? And get this, you know what the picture was? Statlander holding up Bailey. Literally.
She's lifting up women.
She's lifting up women. So it seems like some sort of inside joke is going on around here. I don't know what exactly it's meant to be, but whatever the case, it's spreading. Put it that way. It's become a meme.
We're talking about
unless you know the nuance to all this stuff for sicko learning. Just like when Bet asked me that question, I'm like, I don't know what to give you.
It doesn't even matter.
Unless we all know, we know all the nuance. Go ahead, Bet. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, Jim was talking about things spreading, so I want to talk about Moxley's match next.
Oh no!
It's the sequel we all demanded. Kyle O'Reilly versus Jon Moxley 2. Pretty much went the same as the first match, except the finish this time is a double count out. So again, Moxley does not win here. But after Aubrey Edwards counted out both these competitors, Marina gets in the ring and just punches her. So then that causes a schmaz where you get Darby come out, Roderick Strong come out, the conglomeration come out, and then Mark Briscoe's like he's like, we got a way we could settle this. And then he wants Orange to say it, and Orange doesn't want to say it. And then he basically forces Orange to say it, and Orange just says, blood and guts. And so there you go.
I mean, can we
And then after he says that, immediately they got a graphic, they got a venue, they got the date, everything's like right there on the screen. Like it's just there. It's instantaneous, you know. Normally Tony will wait until like maybe 20 minutes into the show and then he's got the little graphic. But this time he was like, why wait? Let's do it now. I mean, it's feasible that Mark Briscoe had already suggested this match to Tony, like maybe even days or weeks ago. So he had it ready for this moment. Since he booked this match, he knew this would happen. Obviously, if you have Kyle O'Reilly and Jon Moxley, things are going to go south. So once you put that pen to paper and wrote this match in, you already knew this would be where you unveil the blood and guts, you know, for whatever day it is at whatever place it is, right? So there you go.
Did we honestly ask for Conglomeration Death Riders Blood and Guts match?
That's fucked.
That's the thing. It's like, what? You know, and this is the Death Riders, your number one agitators in a wrestling company. The Conglomeration are B-listers at best. With Orange Cassidy, everybody's favorite All-American Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Mark Briscoe and shit like that, and Willow Nightingale, and they did that Friends introduction. But again, I'm neither here nor there. But I'm just saying,
I hate it, man.
The Death Riders are your A-listers. The only acceptable and feasible thing for me, and again, I don't like heel versus heel, would be the Don Callis family against the Death Riders, because then that's, to me, that's money. But your Conglomeration are not top tier baby faces. That's the problem I have with this. I don't have, again, this is the levels, and I'm going to go back to my PWR Pro Wrestling Reflection podcast. This is 1994 vet War Games. If you remember that one, it was the Nasty Boys, Dustin Rhodes, and Dusty Rhodes against Colonel Robert Parker's family.
Oh, God.
Jimmy, you're saying this is the Conglomeration against the Death Riders, but at least the Death Riders are better than Colonel Robert Parker's family. That's the problem I got with this.
Right.
Vet, am I wrong here? Maybe I'm overthinking this or something like that.
Oh, nothing you've ever said is wrong. But I would just, I mean, like this is an issue in general. We don't even have to talk about this specifically. We could just talk about having a gimmick match that you have a scheduled date for on the calendar every year. Like I got a serious problem with that. You know, like they use, like, for example, the WWE would drag out a cage when it was needed. And then when it became a cell, they would drag out the cell for certain personal issues that needed to be settled in a cell, right? And then they just made it every October. We're going to have 3 matches in one night with this structure. Because, God damn it, we have to haul it out here. We have to build it. We're damn sure going to get our money's worth and time's worth out of it, right? That's the same reason why these women were supposed to have a blood and guts match. So we already knew we were getting a blood and guts match. But now, while the cage is here, also we're challenging you to a blood and guts match. So, we should have known that we were going to get a double gender of blood and guts or whatever. But I just have a problem when you basically just got your calendar marked, you're going to have a gimmick match. And the WWE does it with War Games now. So you have a double cage match you have to have, and you have to fit people into it rather than let your story develop and then be like, oh, you know what we could do? We could actually do this. That's how you should be booking everything, is like happy coincidences and a little bit of planning and organically letting it work out.
You technically had your blood and guts at a pay-per-view. You had it at Forbidden Door, if I'm not mistaken, with the Death Riders and Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega.
Right.
You kind of have that already. You just don't need to do it. Just like Vet said, you don't need to put the pen to paper with a date. Again, we don't need War Games every year, guys. And I'm in agreement with Vet. You can let it off for a year and then let it marinate for the following year to make it a bigger fucking deal.
And it will mean a lot more. Yeah, exactly. You know what the dick riders are becoming, honestly, in my opinion? The freaking Dungeon of Doom. Seriously. I mean, come on. Can't you hear Sullivan laughing in the background?
I mean, yeah, but like the difference is, okay, so
Daniel Garcia is the booty man.
Oh yeah, he's booty, all right. There, let me put it to you like this: the Death Riders are like cartoon characters that are doing a serious gimmick.
Yeah.
Right now, almost everybody in the Dungeon of Doom were stone cold killers. Like they would eat everybody in this company's lunch for a shoot. You know what I mean? Just you just put Mang in there alone. He'll beat up AEW by himself. You know what I mean? But you give him the Barbarian, it just give him a little rest, a little breather. You know what I mean? And then there was other, whatever.
Yeah, Giant, Big Show as well, originally there.
Giant, John Tenta, right? Wasn't he in there?
The Shark.
Initially at the start, right? At the very start of it.
Yeah, he'll kill you.
The Shark.
You know what I mean? All these guys. But then you go over here and look at these guys doing like, we're badasses, we're tough, we come through the crowd, we dress in black and whatever, and it's like Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, Claudio, the man who knocked his own teeth out on a ring post slingshot.
I remember that.
So Mercedes and Statlander are fighting in the back, and because I know Charles said that Mercedes has no cake, but actually she literally got a cake last week, and that's why she's mad at Statlander, and they're fighting now. And they fight out to the ring, and then Athena comes out to back Mercedes up, and then the Babes of Wrath come out to make the save. And then after everybody had like split off, and they were doing the thing where the heels are halfway up the ramp and the babyfaces stay in the ring, they stayed on this way too long. Like the camera was lingering on this shot of these going back and forth between the two groups of people just standing there talking to each other. It felt like 2 minutes. I think the next segment wasn't ready yet. That's why they had to like stay with this, even though it was very awkward. But I'll tell you what what I'm intrigued with. I love the dynamic between Athena and Mercedes already. Like I love it. And
you only love it because you know they're gonna get those belts. That's what it is. You want Mercedes to get 13 belts.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Professor, but you're just not all the way right. Like I do like that, but also I would like it even if there was no tag belts and no tag tournament. I would like this regardless. But yeah, so this whole thing was just a big thing, and it's too much. Again, it's too much hot shotting. It's so much like everybody fighting all the time, and then we get to wrestling matches. It's so backwards. I'm tired of it. Everybody does it. WWE doesn't know how to not do it. AEW doesn't know how to not do it. Everything's a pull apart. Doesn't matter what spot on the card it is, it gets a pull apart. It's just it's too much, but that's what we got. So we'll look forward to this. Like a tag team tournament need extra heat. It's a tag team tournament. It's a tournament. That's what it is in the booking. It's a tournament. So you have your tournament, which it's just supposed to be kind of random. And then you have your other personal shit on the card, which is what we were just talking about with Blood and Guts, with the conglomeration, the Death Riders. Like that's we're personal, we're getting violent, we can't settle this in a regular wrestling match or whatever. So you don't need to do the same schmoz bullshit for a women's tag team tournament. It's overkill, it's redundant, it's repetitive, and it's ultimately boring.
Just like money matches?
I mean, we're put a pin in that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. Jeez. Can't wait. Yeah.
He wants to put heat on these AEW Women's Tag Team Championships.
Hate.
That's what it is. And
it feels very lukewarm, actually, Prof.
It is, but to be fair here, the stacked roster of supposedly AEW Women's Wrestling,
bro.
if you look at the seedings, sometimes it is a nice, decent women's
It
tag
is.
team division. It is.
Fair enough.
But
Absolutely.
again,
You're right.
with no substance, and what Vet keeps saying is the overkill of pull aparts and just fighting for no reason. That's the thing, and then you're not going to get invested and interested in whoever it becomes the inaugural tag team champs. Even though Vet still wants Monet and Athena, he
loves Athena. Put it that way, he really does love Athena. And to be fair, like you say, sorry, Prof. To be fair, the dynamic is actually kind of funny between them two because Athena is treating Monet like she's Billy Sparks or Starks, or whatever her name is. She's kind of treating her like that, which is kind of funny. So,
but
Jimmy,
unless you watch Ring of Honor all that time, just
which I
see
don't.
that. Yeah, and I don't either. So technically, no one will care that Athena's trying to do Billy Starks 2.0 with Mercedes and Monet, and then Mercedes is going to finally realize that, like, I'm not your subordinate. You're not even in my equal because I got 12 belts. You got one. I'm 11 belts better than you, biatch, and all this shit. But again, but the problem is, again, when Athena had her match many months ago, then she's off TV, and now you're just trying and then you're trying to, have her back on TV like, oh, nothing's just happened. She's all over the world defending her Ring of Honor Women's title. No, you're not. You just haven't had no TV time. And now the tag team tournament is the only time to get her there. And now you got the 2 women power trip, like Tian Kupana said.
Which is funny too. Interesting dynamic though. But look, that's the interesting thing about that. But we'll see where it goes in the end. They will become tag champs though.
They gotta do it.
100%.
Yeah. And as far as the part about getting heat, well, I mean, the babyface were up, so they didn't even do that. So, anyways, we get a package on Bandito, and guys, did you know he'd been wrestling all this time, and his mom had never once come to see him?
Well, except for that time on the pay-per-view not long ago, where
but this was behind the scenes of that. This was like a package showing, like that was her first time coming to see him.
Do you believe that?
Why would they say that if it wasn't true? Why would you admit that if it wasn't true? That's embarrassing. It sounds like your mom's been ashamed of you. You know?
You think? Well, he's abandoned. He's abandoned, Vet. I mean,
I understand. Yeah.
Come on.
As long as you pay me, I'll tell any story you want me to tell, guys. My mother's never seen me on TV. My grandmother's never seen me on TV or at the arena seeing my craft. Whatever.
Well,
it's grandmother, right? See, I couldn't remember whether it was his mother or grandmother, so I apologize for that mistake, but I do remember being confused about it, so glad to clear that up.
Well, whatever it is. Jeez.
All right. Next we have, I guess this is a tag team tournament match, guys. Ooh. It's a tag team tournament match. It's Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter versus.
You got to give me a.
I gave you plenty of time. You knew this was coming.
Triangle of Terror.
That's not even right. None of what you said was right.
That's not right. Who was it?
Well, first of all, it's a triangle of madness. But when it's 2 of them, they're
Why did I say that?
Sisters. Come on.
Well, fucking, why did I have to have a million names in one freaking group? I mean, the same.
Well,
you're the host. No, you're the host, Jimmy. I don't know who said that. You're the host. You're supposed to have the notes ready to know these names. That's all it is.
Thank God I don't have to do that. That's the Vet doing that. Really.
Right. They have 2 names, and I added a 3rd name of my own because I'm going with my gimmick. So, Anyways,
is this like a prank? That's like, because I know it was them, but whatever, man.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Triangle of madness. Not terror. Actually, terror wouldn't have been much worse. I don't.
But why did I say terror for?
You probably thought it sounded better, and you were probably right.
Where did I get that from? That's what I want to know. Like,
it has the double T alliteration to it.
Wait a minute. Wasn't that a males tag team back in the day?
I don't know.
Sergeant Slaughter and someone else, a couple others. I'm pretty sure, man.
Triangle of Terror?
Yeah, the Triangle of Terror. That's
it was, right. Yeah.
Okay. All right, there you go. Oh, we solved that mystery. And the mystery of who was going to win this match was solved when Tekla speared Jamie Hayter and nobody saw her. The refs didn't see her. And then Queen Aminata gets the double team, and the Dark Sisters advance in the tournament.
Let me fix that.
Dark Sisters win.
Yeah. There we go.
Fatality. All right.
Okay,
So,
Fatality.
did anybody like the match? Anybody want to comment on it? We've got our first people to move on. Dark Sisters.
Unlike J12, I can't stand Tekla. I'm just saying. Because it reminds you, that name reminds me of like you're tickling something. I'm just saying. But anyway, I just don't like the name.
Okay. So you
can't stand her.
You don't like to get tickled. That's what you're saying.
I don't want to be tickled or whatever the hell she does. But yeah, no thanks.
Well, I'm happy that a real legitimate ladies tag team has advanced in this tournament. Dark Sisters, Sisters of Sin, Triangle of Madness, whatever you want to call them. But at least a legit women's tag team is moving on in this tournament.
And wait a minute, Bendeco, all right? Don't know how you usually hate Australians? I'm just saying. What do you mean, why is she, because she's not Australian? Come on, bro. If she was Australian,
yeah, if anything, that's working in her favor.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Come on now.
All right, let's see. Shivani of the Opera is with Megalope. And this is where we find out that Penelope is out because of her arm or whatever, shoulder, whatever. She's in a sling. And she's not cleared. And I thought at this moment, I just assumed that Megan was going to solo the whole tournament. You know, like, why wouldn't you do that? Something different.
She's huge. Has she put on weight?
I don't know.
She's put on a bit of weight, but it's not a bad thing. She still looks great, but I'm just saying she looks wider, that's for sure.
But actually, she does have somebody that's willing to pick up the slack, and that is Marina Shafir.
Ooh.
She walks up, and then John Moxley walks up and does the cartoonish, huh? I like it. You know, like what?
What?
Like what is this character now? Like this is not a job. Where's his cinematic 24 frames per second, like pacing and talking about philosophical bullshit? Like, what is that? Now he's just like
he's Tim Allen.
Yeah, now he's just the yeah.
You turned him into Scooby Mox. That's what it is.
Well, it could be that.
Yeah, that's
you need a Shaggy though. Oh, well, you got Willie Uta. He's got the hair for it.
Yep. Dude, yeah, you're spot on. Exactly. Not as tall as Shaggy, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. All right. Well, looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event. It is a fatal four-way of Samoa Joseph, Ricochet, Hook, and Bobby Lashley.
I didn't mind this. I'll say that. It was fun.
Jimmy loved it. What about you, Professor?
I have a question.
Sure.
How in the heck did Bobby Lashley and Hook get into this scenario where they, if they won, became number one contenders? When did Bobby Lashley have any singles dominant victories? It's been in
Doesn't matter.
No. I don't care about street cred. I don't care about your resume. AEW is about the facts of win and losses.
Wins and losses. Sports based.
It's sports based, and Bobby Lashley hasn't had any singles sports based wins. No, he hasn't. So he should not be in this match. Hook has been out for months. And then we talked about this when I was a guest here. I said that you could have done something with Hook and Samoa Joe. So Tony Khan must have listened to the wreckage and said, you know what? Why don't we just put Hook in this match? So this way we could see Hook and Joe fight in this match. But again, Hook hasn't, well, you know, when you be one of those like the frat brothers on Collision, that doesn't mean that you should be in a fatal four-way to become the number one contender to fight Hangperson Page at Full Gear. That's just my problem. That's my critique. I'm sorry. I nitpick too much.
Well, J12 said apparently he saw a clip on Twitter of Lashley yelling at Hook to calm down.
Well, that means he's a number one contender.
That's all it takes.
That hot shot into that match. Okay,
during the match, maybe.
You know what? It looked like Lashley was trying to.
Now it's come full circle. Now Hook. Now Lashley knows what what Finley felt like wrestling him back in 06.
But no, but you know what? Are we going anywhere with that, you think, between Lashley and Hook? It's kind of interesting, that little dynamic, but it's silly if they do.
Well, there's nowhere else to go for either one of them because Hook tapped out here, and I don't know if that would have been the play, but I guess somebody had to lose.
He tapped quick,
Wait.
I mean,
You forget that. I mean, Hook did tap out, but Bobby Lashley, I don't know what the hell happened here, but it looked like a botch to me. He kind of looked at him.
yeah,
He
did,
almost
right.
wanted to get up to the ring and try to save him from, tapping out. Was that a botch, Vet, or not?
Nah.
Because the timing looked way off. Like he's trying to run. Like, certain people on Twitter.
Yeah, but Ricochet did something to him, didn't he? And then
No.
why
He ran away or he knocked him out. Bobby looked, and it was taking a while before Hook finally tapped. But Bobby was running, then stopped, then touched the ropes. The chat knows I'm not talking. This ain't no Mandela effect. I saw this shit. It looked like a botched tear. Bobby looked like he botched the whole thing for Hook to tap. I don't care about Hook tapping. It's just that I think Bobby messed up on his timing. That's just me.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know. I remember it vividly, exactly as it happened. I'm sure he thought he was timing it to get to the ropes right as Hook was tapping, and either Hook took too long to tap or he got to the rope too fast. But that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but you also can't. There's other ways that you can deal with that other than what Bobby did. But most of those ways involve you looking like an idiot, which is I don't think Bobby Lashley wants to do, nor should he. Because if you're like the MJF style heel, you could trip on the ropes getting in, or something like that, But you don't want to make Bobby Lashley like a bumbling fool. So it was just a mistimed thing. But I mean, they didn't have to do it that way. They didn't have to have Joe's back to the ramp. They could have had it to where Hook could see Bobby, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so that's a little bit of Joe's fault too. He didn't position him correctly for the finish. So it's an unfortunate thing all around, but everybody's a little bit to blame in that because again, there's no reason why it wouldn't have mattered if if Samoa Joe had the clutch facing the entrance ramp where Bobby Lashley was standing. It wouldn't have mattered. It didn't affect anything, so he could have just done that. And he didn't. And yeah.
Sorry, but then who did he chase off after that spot? Like after that little botch moment right there, he turns around and sprints.
He must have been going for Ricochet, I would guess, because he's the only person there.
That's why I was assuming that Ricochet must have done something to him for him to stop doing what he's doing and then go off and chase Ricochet. But now that you guys think it was a botch, and now that I think back on it, it does look.
Oh, it's a small mistime.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, right? I mean, technically, but still,
like a botch would. First of all, I don't really like that word, but it would indicate that like they had to completely redo what they were doing because of something that, this was just an ugly timing issue that got caught on camera.
Maybe for me, Jimmy, maybe for me, my timing issue with it would have been like Bobby is grabbing the ropes, he's about to go in, and Ricochet is holding his leg.
I get you.
And then Hook can tap, and then I go with what you're saying, and then chase into the back, and we again. We'd be fine.
But
with
instead,
this.
he was on the ropes, like standing up on the apron instead. I get you. You're right.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
That's
probably
my
how.
But this shouldn't have none of this should have happened. It should have been Ricochet in the sleeper anyway. I mean, there's no reason to not beat Ricochet in this situation. And furthermore, to your point about number one contenders, like no one of these people should be a number one contender. Joe got beat clean. Fuck you. Back of the line. Bobby Lashley, I mean, he didn't lose any matches at least. At least he didn't lose any major singles matches. So mathematically, he's in the same place, but, he still didn't earn anything. And then, same thing with Hook. Didn't lose any matches, but mathematically he's at the same place. Still shouldn't be a number one contender. Ricochet hasn't won anything significant in a while. So that's none of these people. This match shouldn't even be happening, but where's the long-term storytelling? So I'll tell you where the storytelling is. The storytelling is Samoa Joe demands his contract right now. I want my number one contender's contract right now. Bring it out here. A bunch of mascots in Halloween costumes come out and they're all bringing I don't know why, but they're the ones in charge of the contract. It's like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and some other people. Then
a chicken, a piece of meat or some shit.
It's a random chicken or whatever. All right, so the ops beat up the mascots, and Joe signs the contract after he makes sure that the Marshmallow Man's not, who was it last time?
Hangman was okay. Apparently.
So he makes sure it wasn't Hangman there. Then Tony Schiavone is announcing that it's official, and it's going to be Samoa Joe versus Hang Person Adam Page. Except that something's off about Schiavone and his announcing. It kind of seems like it's a little bit phoned in, and that's probably because Hang Person is dressed as Schiavone and comes in and with the fat suit on does the buckshot lariat and kicks all of the ops' asses by himself.
Because he's tough. That's just
cowboy
buries the whole
shit,
ops. That is cowboy shit. But what I don't like before we get to you, Prof, we know Joe's gonna lose again, right? I mean, he's got no chance of beating Hang Person Page again. He's not gonna win. And the fact that he took out Hobbs as well and all that shit, I hate that shit. I will give him A for effort that he was Schiavone and all that bullshit, but I still didn't like the segment though. I didn't like anything about it, like at all. So that's just me. But Prof, how'd you feel anyway, man?
I think this segment dragged on too much.
Way too long, right?
It was too long for everything because I think Joe was kind of like trying to stall for time for some strange reason. It kind of looked weird to me optically on TV. Like, and I'm looking at my watch, like, why is it going on too long?
They were gonna hit their times, and then he realized they were gonna miss the overrun.
Yeah, and that was weird. It's like he's waiting for something like that. And of course, if you're a sicko like I am, I remember the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was Hang Person Adam Page. I think it was 2021 Dynamite or 2022 Halloween Dynamite, and doing all that stuff against.
Well, Joe's got a good memory then, right?
Yeah, so Joe has a good memory. So I like that part that they took out the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So that's fine with me. And then, Hang Person doing the Tony Schiavone gimmick, from Halloween Havoc 19 Naughty or Naughty 1, neither here nor there. But yeah, that's what he was, he was paying homage to. But again, I like that. But again, it dragged on. And to your point, Jimmy, like, do I expect Samoa Joe to win at Full Gear? No, I don't expect it. But again, what do you have for Hang Person when it comes to credible contenders? So you're trying to build up Samoa Joe with this 4-person fatal 4-way. So again, he's the number one contender. You could have got a rematch, neither here nor there, regardless of the fact, because Hang Person is the greatest AEW champion, because Tony Schiavone will remind us he's the greatest AEW World Heavyweight Champion. So it is what it is on that. But he could have wanted the rematch himself. You didn't even have to jump through all these hoops, because Hang Person wants revenge on Samoa Joe for what he did to him on the last pay-per-view. So, I'm simplistic with my storytelling. Yeah, but that's the way I see it. You didn't have to jump through all these hoops with limited story. We don't even know where the hell we're going with the other 3 that lost. And like you said, Vet, some of these guys didn't even deserve. I even said it. Some of these guys didn't even deserve to be in a fatal 4-way to become the number one contender. That's the thing. You didn't have to jump through hoops. You could just do promos. You could do interviews. You get a Hang Person up on the top of a skybox looking and lurking and taking out the ops. That's just me. Simplistic booking to build to a rematch at Full Gear. That's just me.
You could have had them up on top of the building with 2 monster trucks having a sumo match, and then you could have had Samoa Joe fall off the building and die and then challenge Hangman later in the night.
You seen that book? You seen the Bigfoot Samoa Joe card? That shit is good. That's fire.
Right. That'll put some butts in seats.
I want the cowboy shit Bigfoot against the Samoa Joe Bigfoot up on top of the cage.
He's got the Hangman would be like a monster Prius. Isn't that crazy?
Hey, we can do that with AI now, right?
Yeah.
So,
you don't even need to really put the monster trucks up on the roof. Just you know what I mean? All right. Well, if you thought that was all, boy, you're in for a treat. Or is it a trick? Because we got Collision. We got Fright Night Collision. They didn't even come up with a funny Halloween name for Collision to rhyme with collision. What is that? What would be a good I bet we could come up with one in like 10 seconds. It starts with like a K sound, something collision.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Creepy collision, carnage collision.
Carnage collision. I like that too.
Something. All right, one of those.
Creepy collision though is the one though.
I like creepy collision.
All right.
Good old
okay.
CC.
There we go. That took would that take 3 seconds? Okay. We have 7 seconds to spare, so we got to drag out the promo to get to the 10-second overrun. All right. Carnival of Collision.
Yeah.
All right. So no, it's Fright Night Collision. And we're starting out hot. Actually, this collision had a lot more for me than Dynamite did this week.
Me too.
I'll be honest with you right out of the gate. I'll just tell you, we're starting out with Takeshita and Okada in that promised match. We didn't know who they'd be facing, but it turns out they're going to be facing gay times here. So, so that's like, okay, but it's actually smart because it's a cold match, but now because you basically have the same exact storyline on both sides of the ring, it's interesting.
Absolutely right. That's why I was into this match, man. I'm not going to lie. I was actually intrigued.
Right. So, anyways, they had the match, and the match is what it is. Like, you know what you're going to get a lot of, like, the old, I'm tagging myself in, oh, you accidentally hit me, all the miscommunicate. You know there's going to get all that, and we get all that, and it's all, like, whatever. But I did want to point out a couple of things. Number one, Anthony Bowens is, like, trying to invent moves. Like he keeps doing like these weird moves or whatever just so that he could do a move. Like he's Nova or something in ECW. This is for ECW fans out there. He's like trying to invent all this stuff. And I'm just like, dude, just calm this shit. Okay, look, if you come up with a new move you want to do, this is just a piece of advice for Mr. Gay Times here. If you come up with a new, innovative, cool move you want to do, why don't you just save that and don't tell anybody about it and don't show anybody it. Save that move for when you have a match where you're going over and then bust that out as a new finish or whatever. But he's doing the Kevin Owens of thinking of like every devastating, crazy looking move that you could do, you know, and in the middle of a match and let him kick out of it. And then your finisher is just some basic ass thing. You know, that was the Kevin Owens problem, right? But if you're going to do this shit where you think a move is important or is going to get you over, then save it for a point where it actually has a more than 0% chance of getting you over. Don't just randomly do it in a match. That's number one. But the bigger problem here. Okay, so Professor, I know you say you don't watch Collision every week. Did you watch this week?
I had the World Series, so I kind of like was channel surfing on that.
A little bit back and forth. Jimmy, you watched it, right? This time, did you?
Okay. Yes, I watched it.
Okay. So would you guys say in general, the crowd, it was the sicko crowd that you would expect, right? They were enjoying the show, right?
Oh, loving it. Absolutely. They were into this match. 100%.
Into this match, into the main event, into the stuff in the middle, right? Good. Not a shitty crowd, right? Okay.
No,
so you know they're playing ball. Okay.
Right. For sure.
Okay. When it came to be time, because of the story they were telling of, you know, like none of the guys want to tag each other. They all want a hot dog and do it all by themselves, right? Clearly you put Gay Times as the babyface side of the equation, right? When it came time for whatever the closest thing to resembling a hot tag was, because Bowens was taking heat for a good amount of time, went through a break. You know, Okada and Takeshita were having fun kicking the shit out of him, even though they weren't totally getting along, but they got on the same page enough to beat up Gay Times, right? So, yes. So they do the spot where I guess this would be the hot tag where Anthony Bowens like rolled backwards into, you know, the corner and Max tagged himself in. There was absolutely, and I'm not saying this for exaggeration, like I was watching this and paying attention. No noise whatsoever. The crowd went absolutely silent. They didn't even realize it was supposed to be a hot tag. So the point of what I'm trying to say is like the stuff in the ring. I know people say, you know, that there's different camps of wrestling fans and stuff like that. And some people say, that old stuff doesn't work or whatever. It's all about this new stuff. And there's people that think, in ring doesn't matter. It's all about promos and stories and characters and all this other stuff. No one cares about wrestling matches, right? Okay, well, none of that's totally correct. You always need all of those things. Absolutely. You need guys to be good at everything they do. That includes in the ring. Because even the AEW sickos would not pop on a hot tag because they didn't tell the story of Bowens trying to make it. You're telling the story of Bowens trying not to tag.
Right.
So when Max Caster's been on the apron the whole match waiting for a tag, the crowd doesn't even get that. They don't even care that he gets in there. When he tags himself in, they don't pop.
Vet, can I push back for a second on that? Because
you could try.
I'm not saying I'm right about this, but this is the way I see it. Because with gay times here, Bowens has been projecting himself more heelish, and people just do not care about him. So that hot tag scenario with Max Caster's like, you're not feeling no empathy towards Bowens because he's been acting like a dick for many weeks on TV. So maybe they just didn't care that it was a hot tag. So
that's true. That would be true if he was the one receiving it, which I don't know if he receives or gives. I don't know what his position in the relationships are. But I'm telling you, they did like Max because they were ironically liking Max because he was being so obnoxious that he was being entertaining, because the best way to be a babyface in 2025 is to be a heel. So Max was being a heel and the people were playing along and having fun, and they end up liking him. So he's the one getting the tag. So they're supposed to pop for him getting in. They're not supposed to cheer for Bowens to get the shit kicked out of him. They obviously don't care about that. But that's the whole point. It's like some of these things in wrestling are timeless and they will always work on everyone. But if you can't please the AEW sicko crowd, then that's more of an endorsement of good classic in-ring storytelling than anything else I can provide to you. Like, you wouldn't even make a noise on a hot tag on a match that you liked the match and you liked everything in the match except that one part and you liked the rest of the show. Like, something's wrong there.
Maybe the fans are confused with the hot tag because they don't know who's the receiver or who's the giver.
That's probably it. Maybe they can't from the cheap seats, which are only 30 feet away, but maybe they can't see the names of those magazines that he's carrying out with him. Like, they don't know how they're supposed to interpret any of this. But
what was he again? The gay time of the year? What the fuck was that thing again?
That's just the magazine he was on the cover of. I don't know.
I know, but wasn't it like the Gay Time magazine personality?
It's just the magazine. That's what the magazine is called, Gay Times. I don't know. I don't know if he won an award or if he just wanted. He just framed all the stuff that he's on the cover of. Good job. Okay. He carries it around and he stuffs one in his trunks because he only has so many hands. But anyway, Takeshita hits the raging fire to Max. Just in case anybody wondered about that. But of course, he and Okada are still not on good terms. And of course, there was a lot of shenanigans and, Takeshita actually punched Okada to get him out of the way so he could hit the finish because Okada was going for a Rainmaker. So anyway, more on that as we go. Yeah, right. Jimmy?
No, I was just saying it was an entertaining match anyway for the shits and giggles, should I say. I was laughing a lot during this match. But I still enjoyed it for what it is. And but are we eventually going to get normal Acclaimed at this point?
They're probably trying to go towards that, but they're not going to be able to. They're probably not going to do it in a satisfying way.
But Jimmy, you need a buffer because the buffer was supposed to be Billy Gunn trying to bring. And
Jerry Lynn was the second buffer. Lynn,
which whoever there needs to be a buffer. No,
so we're gonna get
the top and the bottom need a middle.
Yeah,
you got to make a sandwich. You got to put meat in the sandwich. You know this.
Yeah. Speaking of meat and a sandwich, the Babes of Wrath do a promo next. So if you like the Babes of Wrath, which is Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, they did a promo, a good old fashioned classic wrestling promo.
Wait, I'm sorry. They call themselves the Babes of Wrath, or you calling them the Babes of Wrath?
This time that was them. Remember, I couldn't come up with a name for them before, and nothing I liked, so they came up with it.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, go ahead. You come up with these great names for these.
He does to the point where I get confused, man. And then I start calling him that freaking
Yeah, one or two. Yeah, Dark
literally.
Sisters. Yeah, one or two I came up with they actually used, and the rest are just
that's
funny.
weird.
But yeah,
That
Babes
was
of Wrath
weird.
is 100% them.
Oh, okay.
I'll give them that.
But how weird was it when you actually gave names and they fucking used it? That was bizarre, bro.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've had my gimmick stolen.
I know, but it was just that was real weird, man. I swear that was a good laugh, Bob, when we realized. But anyway,
Speaking of real weird, Tony and Mina package here, just catching you up on what's up with them. Then we get Chris Statlander coming out to commentary for Olympia versus Mercedes Moné randomly. So I don't know who Olympia is, so I want to do a little bit of research. Olympia is a second generation wrestler. She's the daughter of Valiente. I have to admit, I'm not familiar, but that's what the internet told me that she is. So she's got family in the biz, second generation, 4 years pro.
Yeah.
She's a 4-year pro, made her debut in February 2021. So
Really?
not 100% rookie off the street, but still like pretty young in the business. Okay.
Still green, in my opinion, right?
Well, yeah.
In the business,
So, well, not just the business, because after watching this match,
oof. Dude, are you telling me my name wasn't hurt at the end of this match?
I'd be surprised.
Wow.
Yeah, poor aptitude, I guess, is the way I would describe it. Like some people just get it, even when they don't, even when they're not all the way there. But you could tell, oh, they got the hard part easily. They'll get the basics and the mechanics quickly.
Yeah.
If she's been in this for 4 years and she's this bad still, I don't think she's gonna get it. She's like, she can't lock up, for one. That's the first thing I noticed. Like when Mercedes goes to lock up with her, like I was looking at her hands. I'm like, where are you putting your hands? Do you not? I guess they don't do this in Lucha Libre. Do they just go straight into it, start running? They don't even do lockups anymore. I mean, what's going on? So
yeah, I guess they probably don't do lockups. I can remember anyway.
They start running the ropes first, and then they go.
They
pretty much, yeah. They'll do it backwards, just like AEW booking. So yeah, she doesn't react either. Like when it's not her turn, she just stands there and waits. You know, so she's not actually on the offense or moving somewhere. She just stands there like a statue waiting on a bus and she just sits there. Mercedes gave her a jawbreaker and she sold it like one of those people on the reaction videos. She was like, she grabbed the top of her head on the jawbreaker.
It reverberates. The jawbreaker reverberates up to the top of the head. So, you know, she wants to be a good seller on that. Yeah. I guess the problem I have with this match, because again, I didn't see this one. This one, I was on the Dodgers and the Blue Jays World Series here. So excuse me, Hami Knights. But Mercedes, the whole gimmick for Mercedes is she better be chasing women's championships. Wherever, no matter what company or whatever the case. So Olympia sounds to me, even though she's a second generation wrestler, she has nothing to offer Mercedes Moné. Is that right, Pat? There's nothing there unless this is something to build on for CMLL.
I mean, to be fair, if I could push back, she has all those belts, and that means somebody has to come for those too. So it's not always her chasing. If you're going to carry them around, people do have to, you know, they always use the cliche for a champion. You got a target on your back. Well, what about 13 targets on your back? Obviously that's a lot. That's a whole volley of arrows, right?
I'm cool with that. But if you're saying that she, Olympia, is not doing the proper basic stuff, even in her 4 years, she's not selling. She doesn't even know how to lock up. She shouldn't even be the one chasing right now. It should be what's her name? Promenade? What's that name? I forget the other girl name. Promenade? From CMLL? Prometheus? I know the chat.
Promenade.
The girl.
Did she already have a turn?
But she didn't get the full turn.
No,
you know what I mean.
Persephone?
There you go, Persephone.
Yeah. Prometheus. Actually, I want to see Prometheus next. Prometheus should be next in line now that Olympia. Why are there so many Greek wrestlers in fucking in Lucha Libre right now? What's going on here?
Me off. Even like Bane, you know, Megan Bane being from Thessaloniki. Like, get the hell out of here.
Get the hell
Come on now. It's getting ridiculous.
But
Greek imposters.
Yeah. Well, Agent Lo-Fi, though, he's got the stats, though, talking about she's only had 13 singles matches, mostly a trios tag. So thanks for the info. I didn't know that. But at the same time, I will say this, Agent Lo-Fi, telling you from experience, like, if you're good at wrestling, it shouldn't matter what type of match it is, because the kind of issues that she's having in this match were not whether it's a singles or a tag or not. You still got to react properly to things, even in singles, whether it's singles or tag matches. But I'll also say that, it's clear why she's in the spot. I mean, she looks like, she definitely looks like a bodybuilder.
She looked great. She did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She
but that's part of the problem. She's doing bodybuilding and gymnastics when she should be like working on the actual wrestling parts. Right?
Man, she tossed her on her side so many times. Like I'm talking about Monet landing on her side. It just looks bad, man. She was just didn't give a shit about protecting Monet. I think this was the wrong matchup, really, for Monet. She shouldn't be wrestling like these type of women, man, at all. Like at all.
This is part of the deal when you have these cross promotion, they're going to have people they want to get over, and that's who they're going to give you. And it's up to you to it's up to you to squeeze the lemon and get the lemonade out.
That's right. Turn that salad into
take that shit down. We're not going to disrupt our show. Okay? You guys don't call the shots. Okay?
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah.
It's been one of the best in the last couple of years. That's all I'll say. Go ahead, babe.
All right. So yeah. It's also a true point where I understand how tough it is the women have it real hard in Mexico. The guys do too, but arguably the women have it harder. So I do understand that, but I'm not sitting here blaming her because it's everybody's responsible for themselves. It's your own, you got to do things on your own time if you want to be better. And apparently she's getting this opportunity, so somebody likes her. That's the thing. It's a political move to feed her to Mercedes and get her national TV exposure, such as it is on Collision.
Hashtag give Prometheus a chance. That's all I'll say.
Give Prometheus a chance. So, anyways, but the match, all that being said, scouting report aside, the match was fine. I give it 3.5 lemonades. She does get Olympia to tap out to the crossface, and she keeps all of her dozen belts. Professor, I know that you like to, you like to have arguments about the veracity of Mercedes titles on Twitter, but over here you're a little more subdued. But if you have anything to say it to my face, Professor.
Not a problem. I will say it to your face. I could give 2 lemonades about Mercedes. Well, again, what are we going with this here? I understand what you're saying. Like with 12 titles, you got 12 contenders all over the world chasing Mercedes, and that's good for television purposes. But again, I look at it from a different spectrum. I look at it from the politics side. I look at it who has the leverage, and that's Tony Khan and that's Mercedes Moné. If the other promotions are loving Mercedes and that factor brings in the money, puts asses in seats, I'm all for the business part, Vet. Don't get me wrong with this. But again, I've said it over and over again. She has not elevated the AEW women's roster, and she's not elevated. If she's just coming to all these organizations and tapping out their supposedly top contenders, then you're not elevating. You're just desecrating the women's division all over the world. And again, the payoff is the payoff. Again, people, I keep saying this. Ultimo Dragon had 9 or 10 belts himself in '97. No one gave a crap. Even for Eric Bischoff, who kept talking about how he had all the international stars coming to WCW. Eric Bischoff didn't give 2 squats about Ultimo Dragon having 9 belts, because Ultimo Dragon should have been fighting Hollywood Hogan. Ultimo Dragon should have been fighting Scott Hall, but no, he was fighting all the cruiserweights, and he was relegated to that. So Eric Bischoff said, you know what? You serve your purpose. Give me those high flip spots in the beginning. This way Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper can do what they're supposed to do at the end. Mercedes Moné is doing the exact same thing to me. She's collecting the belts. And for all the marktards, 10 years and 20 years from now, they'll say that she's probably the greatest women's champion ever. Bet will say that too. 20 years from now, me and Bet would. Mercedes had all those belts that year, right, Professor? I can't dispute. I'm not going to dispute that, but I'll keep saying it's like some people had just better runs with their belts than what Mercedes is doing. Is Mercedes elevating? No, that's my problem. She's not elevating the AEW women's division, and she's not elevating women's wrestling.
Counterpoint number one. It's 30 years later, and people are still talking about Ultimo Dragon's belts. So I think mission accomplished.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Counterpoint, whether you cared at the time or whether you care now, the fact that it's even in our mouths says that it did what it was meant to do. Counterpoint number two, what would Mercedes have to be doing to elevate the women's division? It's a vague statement and a notion, but what would that look like, and what does that mean? And keeping in mind, there's more than one way to supposedly do that, or perhaps zero ways to do that. Perhaps that's just a nebulous construct of fans' minds that don't like what they're seeing.
It could be. I'm not saying I don't like what I've seen. I'm just saying is, again, from at least the AEW point, that she lost to Toni Storm and it didn't matter. Mm-hmm. From that point on, what it is just belt collecting. What it is just stat padding. That's the thing I'm just saying. And you're right. Mm-hmm. No one was talking about Ultimo Dragon before Mercedes Moné was doing the 10 belts. So that tells you something, even though, where does Ultimo Dragon on the GOAT list? Is he on your top 5 GOAT list? Not until this year because of what Mercedes is doing. Probably, but Ultimo Dragon had 9 belts that year. He should be in the GOAT conversation. I applaud Mercedes for doing the gimmick to get Ultimo Dragon just to be in the conversation piece. But again, that's 30 years from now. That's 30 years too late to me because we didn't even celebrate that in '97. So we're trying to appease the mistakes that we did yesteryear. It is what it is to me.
I just think it's a little bit of cherry picking. I'm not just necessarily talking about you, but this is anybody that's having any kind of discourse about it, and so I'm making generalizations here. I'm not trying to make this like a one-on-one thing or saying that everything that you're saying is the only thing that's being said. But I would also add that there was only so much of a room for Ultimo Dragon at that time. I'm not saying I'm not saying Ultimo Dragon got shafted or anything like that. I'm just saying they use him in the cruiserweight slot to elevate the cruiserweight championship. And they used him to do that because he had all those other belts and he had that recognition overseas. And because of the deals that they had, that Eric Bischoff had in his connections with Japan as Sonny Ono and yada, 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 yada. So they have Ultimo Dragon come in and play that role. Of course, he wasn't going to be facing Hulk Hogan or anything like that, even if he wanted to, even if Eric Bischoff wanted him to. I don't think that would have worked for Hulk Hogan, brother, even though it would have been fun. But, whereas every once in a while, as much shit as Triple H gets these days, every once in a while he would randomly have a match with a Funaki and make it seem like Funaki was going to beat him. So like Triple H knew how to have fun in ways that, even the top stars of WCW didn't at the time. However, at Full Gear, there's a match. Jimmy, who's the AEW Women's Champion?
It is Christian Lander.
Oh, who's her opponent at Full Gear?
Isn't it Moné? It is.
Oh my goodness, it is. So she is working the top of her card where she's supposed to be in a way that Ultimo Dragon could not. Well, so it's like, it's not exactly apples to apples in these situations. But I'm just saying, like, if Mercedes Moné came in and did a bunch of jobs, nothing's getting elevated. I think my point is that nothing's going to ever get elevated or get better. So it doesn't really matter what anybody does. And it also isn't up to Mercedes to say like, well, I want to lose to Toni Storm. So if anybody's fault that Mercedes not elevating anything, it's Tony's fault. It's not these independent promoters. It's not Mercedes' fault. It's not the women that Mercedes is working with.
And it goes back to the politic argument that I have. She's not going to complain now because she's got Tony Khan in her back pocket. politically and all this. This is what probably, and again, allegedly, maybe this is why she left WWE, because she did not get that political stroke like the Charlotte Flairs, like the Becky Lynches. She felt some type of way.
There.
Yeah, she felt some type of way. So now she's in a company where she is in the back pocket of Tony Khan, and Tony Khan has the political stroke to do all that stuff. And Chris Statlander being the champion has been overshadowed by Mercedes Moné being the TBS champion for all this time, just like it overshadowed Tony Storm. We talked about this. Go back to all those pay-per-views. The TBS title overshadowed the AEW Women's Championship. That's why I said it hasn't elevated. That's just, again,
which is bad.
We both can pick up a certain thing, but it just looks bad optically to me that Mercedes Moné has overshadowed the women's division, and it still shows it.
I mean, shit. That TBS belt feels way more over than the women's championship when you think about it, right?
It kind of always did.
Right,
because Jade Cargill was the one on an undefeated streak and all that.
Exactly. You're right.
Tony has made the TBS belt relevant, the TBS women's belt relevant with Jade and Mercedes reigns.
Great, 100%.
There you go. Kind of like Rob Van Dam made the TV title more relevant. Anyways, let's just move on to so after Dynamite last week, Renee was going to ask the Young Bucks about how to get back on track. And then Don Callis was like, I know how to get them back on track. I just put you guys in $1 million money match.
Wow.
So Jimmy.
Wait a minute. Hold up. The Crockett Cup's coming back?
It's coming back.
It comes back every week, it seems, over here in this company.
That's right. At Full Gear, it's going to be Young Bucks versus Jurassic Park for $1 million.
Well, something tells me they're not going to get that $1 million, but come on, man. Enough. What's the obsession though, man?
Wait, isn't it the caveat? Isn't it a trios match? That I thought.
No. A 6-man tag match.
But it's a 6-man for the $1 million. Isn't it the Young Bucks, Josh Alexander against
against Kenny and the Jurassic Park, whatever. Yeah.
Kenny doesn't need $1 million. He's an EVP. He's not broke.
Well, as a rich man once said, $10 is $10. So imagine $1 million. Yeah,
100%. I mean, shit. I don't like it. But whatever.
We just need the AEW $1 million championship. That's all we need. We don't need these $500,000 matches. Just the $1 million belt. Come on, Tony, just do it. You know you want to do it. You're just putting money in the equation. That's it.
That'd be interesting. Imagine how would the belt look like, you think? You know what I mean? Would it look similar to the $1 million belt?
It's just a regular belt, but it has like the actual cash $1 million in bills.
With Tony's face on it, right?
Yeah, $1 million bill. All right. So, in one of the most tone-deaf booking decisions I have ever seen in the history of wrestling, Jon Moxley is just casually on commentary for this next match.
Why?
Remember, this guy terrorized the entire company for months. And then he's just going to put on the headset and everybody's just going to be cool with him sitting there talking like, it's no big deal. Yeah, it's just me, Jon Moxley, out here. I'm just out here like Statlander was out here. It's no big deal. I'm just chilling. Me, the attempted murderer. It's cool. I'm gonna sit here. So the match is Nixon Newell. That was the name we didn't remember from last week. The Tegan Knox, and then Miranda Alizé versus Megafear.
Megafear.
I did come up with that one, Professor. That was mine, Megafear.
That's nice. That's a good one. I like it.
Obviously, there's really nothing to talk about. This was a squash from the start, and that's what it should have been. Jimmy.
No, I'm just confused about Moxley still because the commentators even asked him why he's there, right? Like, why?
They're not scared. They're just chit-chatting with him.
He's got a big doink on his freaking forehead. Maybe it's a concussion. I have no idea, but they're even asking him, why here? So do they still want Statlander? If you remember, Yuta was always chasing her, right?
Uh-huh.
So is it Moxie's turn now to try to convince her to join?
No, I think he gave up. But he's only here because he wants to watch Marina in this match.
Oh yeah, that's true. That makes sense then.
Yeah, I just threw Statlander's name out there because she was on a guest on commentary before.
Right. No, you're right.
So, anyways, yeah. So she Megan hits the Liger bomb on one of them and Mother's Milk on the other one.
As long as Tegan Knox did not take the fall, she didn't take it, right? It was the other one.
No, she took the fall. Pretty sure.
All that investment for forget it, man.
Wait,
I don't know. I don't know.
Todd Brantley already left, but because AEW.
Yeah.
Also because AEW, a blood and guts package with what I would call an ill-advised choice of voiceover from Renee. Like, she does not have the voice for these type of things. Like, if you're trying to sell me a violent, bloody match, and then she's like, blood and guts. Like, it just doesn't work. It's not gonna. No.
Blood and guts.
Next match is LFI versus the Conglomeration, consisting of Mark Briscoe, okay, Commander, I guess he's in it sometimes when they remember, and Roderick Strong, who's still, I think he's not committed to the Conglomeration, but
he's
whatever. 1 out of 3 ain't bad. 1.5 out of 3 ain't bad. You could call Drillistico because he got the J Driller in this one, and Mark Briscoe wins the match. I assume nobody has any notes on this.
Nah. Too much luchadoring going around at this point.
Yeah, but got some Hearns.
But this is that strong win, right? For the to go into Blood and Guts, right?
Right. Yeah. They took down the surging LFI. El Toro Blanco was olayed into a wall here. All right. They do a recap of the ending of Dynamite, and then they show Hook and Eddie presumably after Dynamite, and Eddie's like, congratulations to Joe. Congrats to Joe. Sarcastically, kind of. Then we get MXM TV casting call.
Oh, God.
It's a trios match, and their opponents are the Bang Bang Gang, consisting of One Gun, Juice, and Ace.
Ace. It was Ace Bang the Juice, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like the match, Jimmy?
Look,
well, MXM's always good, at least.
Right. I mean, and what the hell was Mason wearing? I mean, what was up with the blonde freaking? He was dressed as Taya. That looked weird, man.
It's for the season, Jimmy. It's Halloween. You gotta dress up for the occasion.
He was dressed as Taya, and Mansoor was dressed as Johnny.
These guys just always.
They said it on the promo.
I know, but it's just ridiculous. It's just, I couldn't help it, man. But still, these guys always entertain me, except for Johnny and his wife could just go away at this point.
Acceptable add-ons to the package. All right, Professor, any comment on these shenanigans?
Hey, MXN knows their place. They know their value. TV time is great time, and just to do all this stuff. The Bang Bang Gang is just incomplete until I see Jay White come back and the other gun, and then we'll see like the potential when you add Ace Austin, because again, that history of Jay White putting Ace Austin into Jake White's Bullet Club, they want to play onto that story, so I'm cool with that. So again, it's just incomplete with the Bang Bang Gang.
But Prof, are we gonna see Jay White anytime soon? What the hell, man? He should be recovered by now, surely.
Don't tell people what they should be.
Fine. Jeez.
But Jimmy,
are you an athlete? Are you a high tier, top tuned athlete?
No, I'm not, but still.
Jimmy, to be fair here, you have to remember recovery for athletes. Sometimes you get setbacks. You never 2 know. Years? There could be setbacks. You never know. Fragile bodies, fragile bones, fragile labels, fragile, I don't even know what the injury is, but it's something fragile.
A wrist injury, wasn't it? Isn't that what it was?
He was a setback because he broke his hand and then he injured his shoulder.
Oh, so yeah, that's right.
He injured his shoulder while he was recovering. So, that's exactly what the professor's talking about, a setback during recovery. So that's where we're at. But it hasn't been 2 years, okay?
I know, I'm just exaggerating. I'm saying he'll be back in 2 years overall.
But what else you said, Jimmy, was that you wanted to see more of MXM, and it's now 3 weeks in a row. So let's keep the momentum going here with these guys. And by the way, Mansoor did an amazing sell after Ace Austin used the fold where he just flipped over backwards on his head.
They're just so entertaining, man, for me. I know they're just, idiots, but they get it, man. They know who they are. Like you said, Prof, they just get it, man.
They get it. And you know who else gets it? The main event. Not a multi-man, Jimmy. It's a good old-fashioned singles match for a championship. It's Mascara Dorada versus Bandito for the Ring of Honor Championship.
I'm excited. Not.
All right, Professor.
You mean Ring of Honor title, a main event on Collision with the Ring of Honor title? That's history right there. That's history in the making.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they want that Ring of Honor TV deal so badly. Bandito is the perfect representation of being that champion to get that TV deal. So,
hey, by the way, did I forget to mention Bret the Hitman Mortos before?
No. I mean, yes, you did forget.
Yeah.
He was wearing pink. He had a pink.
He was. He's either Monet or Bret the Hitman Mortos. I don't know. Or a combination.
Monet. It's Monet.
I know.
He got it out of her gear. That's what it was.
100%.
Well, we know she loves Eddie Guerrero, but I'm sure she's a Hitman fan as well. So.
Oh, must be.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, all right. So these guys had look. Obviously, I proved that I'm not an expert or a authority on Lucha Libre, but these guys did a good enough match, like as far as they didn't do like necessarily a Lucha style match. They did a match with Lucha moves in American style where they actually took their time on stuff and sold. They worked it like a main event. So they both did a really good job. They took some gross bumps here, which I wouldn't have advised, like that pop-up cutter off the apron onto the concrete floor. I think they probably each lost at least a year of their career off of that one move alone, but the crowd seemed to love it. And I kind of wondered, like, as we're talking about elevating and making people or whatever, I was kind of wondering, like, where are they going to put it on Dorada here? Because, Bandito allegedly hurt, like supposedly he dislocated his shoulder and he's just been working ever since. So either that's a lie or he's not 100% right now. And I thought maybe they would give him a little bit of time off and like have him drop both these belts coming up soon so that he could go get better or something. But he does actually pull it out here and beats Dorada to retain.
He's a mariachi too. It was mariachi Bandito this time, right? That we got. Should have been coming out with a band. Just saying. But I think I heard he was injured, and maybe he needs surgery and he's holding off. Hence why he's still wrestling. You know what I mean? Because if he has surgery, then he'll be out for a good 6 months at least.
Well, if he could hold out till full gear, like I said, I think it's predictable that FTR will win the belts for the purposes of fighting Edge and Christian on a later date. And then the Ring of Honor thing, you could have done that. I remember Hechicero was supposed to be a gallant top contender for that belt. So you could, the Don Callis family needs the belts. So why not Hechicero become the ROH champion at one of those ROH pay-per-views? So it could work there.
Well, according to Agent Lo-Fi, apparently Bandito is fine. He's just selling. Oh, and he also says Dorada doesn't need a belt. He's pretty much the number 2 guy behind Mystico in CMLL. I like the fact that you're the resident Lucha guy right now, Agent Lo-Fi. We appreciate you in the chat.
Well, he could be the number 2 guy in he could be the number 2 guy in Ring of Honor. In CMLL, but he could be the number 1 guy in Ring of Honor if he won the title.
Yeah,
exactly. No doubt, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Especially if they're giving it showtime on a Collision channel instead of whatever website that's fucking showing Ring of Honor now that you gotta still probably pay for.
Is you still have to pay for it? I don't even have a clue anymore.
I don't know. We'll have to ask Agent Lo-Fi, but
yeah,
I mean, the last I checked, it was still a pay channel, but I know they've run some stuff on YouTube lately, so I didn't look into it, but nonetheless, that is Collision, fellas. So,
it started off strong, but then I don't know, it dropped off a little bit.
But at least we got a singles title match,
Absolutely. For me,
You could have got an 8-man, Jimmy. You got to learn to count your blessings, man.
I'm grateful for that. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I just don't understand why there's so much like luchador matches in this. It was CMLL.
Were they in the West Coast or Texas? So maybe that was the
Texas,
connection there.
right?
Yeah. So CMLL, Texas, the connection's there. I think again, I can nitpick for the main event. The only thing I would say is like we know FTR is the number one contenders. What a great way if. Again, I don't know, Agent Lo-Fi, saying that he's selling.
Oh, did we forget to mention that they won that match? I don't even remember if we got to the who won the match when we started talking about it.
Oh, no, but again, neither here nor there. But if he's injured, we're going with that hypothetical, right, guys? Wouldn't it have been great for FTR to cost Bandito that match so this way Dorada could be the new ROH champion? And you build something. That's all I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You build something for
There's
me.
no building though here, bro.
Well, you also build you would also by doing that you'd also build something else for Bandito and Dorada because as Dorada's a babyface, he's not going to want to win like that. So he's going to have a guilt thing, and he's going to want a rematch. He's going to give a rematch to Bandito, so you get more business there. Maybe you could get a house of CMLL for that, whatever. You know what I mean? But it's like. That there's some ways that you could do things where everybody benefits, and they choose the way where nobody does.
Mm-hmm. I go with that.
Love it. Love it, man.
Jimmy, there's always options. That's what I'm just trying to say. There's always better options.
There's always options, but options don't get used, it seems. But this is where the best wrestle, and that's all that matters. It's all about the wrestling in his company, apparently. Well, boys, in saying that.
Before we close, guys, have you seen that commercial? Well, AEW on Twitter I think they do like their office building. The AEW has this office building, and they're kind of like doing sports center gimmicks.
Wait a minute. Are you saying like the Attitude Era sort of?
Yeah, because you said it. They're doing their own kind of thing like that. Like Hobbs is on a computer, on a laptop, trying to do work, and then he breaks the laptop. You haven't seen that?
Nah.
What? That's real. That's news, man. That's news.
Wait, are you being legit now?
Yes, that's legit.
So like the Sports Center ads, if you know what I mean, when they show it.
We're the best wrestler, and they're doing it. And Bryan Danielson is teaching people something. He has something on the board, on the blackboard. It is a real thing.
Wow. So he breaks the lap. I guess he does better with books, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
That's weird.
Well, we're gonna book it on out of here because we're done.
We are done. So he's saying that, Prof, I'll go to you first. Tell them where they can find you and what's going on with you with the reflection and all the spotlight.
Well, how many nights? Just subscribe. The link is right there below. YouTube.com/@Pro Wrestling Reflection, or type the word PW, so PROF. That's PW, so Prof. And we just dropped an episode. That was the previous one, but the other one now is the Pro Wrestling Spotlight. Greatest heel turns. Bob Backlund goes nuts in 1994. So yeah, follow the Pro Wrestling Reflection, PW Reflection on the Twitter right there. So with myself and the Tommy Wonder.
Nice. Well, Vet, tell them what you're doing, man. How's Mortal Kombat, by the way?
Oh, it's a good trip down memory lane to visit those old games and everything like that. And
no doubt.
So, anyways, you could find me everywhere at Opinion Haver on social media, your platform of choice. Just look it up, and I'll be there. Check out the Mondays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. You could check out the Impact Attack with myself and Brandon, where we talk about TNA and the sorry state of affairs over there. You could every Wednesday check out the Next Level Wrestling Review with myself and Big Ray Hernandez at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Thanks, Jimmy, for filling in last week.
Pleasure.
Yeah, we'll talk about NXT, and of course we'll have to talk about TNA as well, because we got a partnership there, just like CMLL and AEW. And then, of course, you're going to want to check out every Friday Wrestling Rip Rogers live or live. Ask Rip Rogers a question. Noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific for that one. Their concrete time, unless they move it or don't have it, or it's a different day or whatever. Check out the Stevie Richards Show every Friday. He's going to have a new episode every Friday, and you're going to get... that is definitely not the Stevie Richards Show. There's the Stevie Richards Show. There's Stevie. Stevie just climbing up the ranks of the pro wrestling TV show lists, and it's sports based, just like AEW's rankings too. So go check out that show every Friday. Check out Limpin' Ain't Easy with Timmy Baltimore. He just had you guys remember what's the dude Buster's name? Chris Cage, or you may have known him as Kalen Croft at one time. But nice little interview there, reminiscing about some stuff, some of which I was actually there for when they go back to talk about OVW time. So fun stories, and that's just about it for me. What about you, Jimmy?
Well, for me, Tuesday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, it is like a Raw with myself and Big Ray Hernandez, where we talk all things Monday Night Raw, but also go check out the Saturday night's main event edition of the Smack Attack, where me, RBV, and JT, he's also a pro wrestler, JT Storm that is, who also joined us to talk, obviously, SmackDown and Saturday night's main event. Go check that. It's up right now on Hummy Media Group's YouTube channel right here. And what else did I do? Yeah, and that's about it. So go check out all those shows. They're all here. But look out every week, of course, for that Wreckage, the Smack Attack, and I Like a Raw. And that's about it. But more importantly, like it says, well, it did say, but it doesn't anymore. Like and subscribe right here on Hummy Media Group's YouTube channel. You guys keep sharing our shows, keep getting us around, man. We really much appreciate it. And yeah, that's about it. And if you want to follow me, you can at the PWC Network on the Twitter or the X and whatever you want to call it. So in saying that, boys, I am Jimmy T. He is the best in the world, and my co-host, Jamie the Vet Williams. And that is the magnanimous and the glorious, the Professor Chabelo Vera Cruz. And you've been listening and watching the
Wreckage
live right here. Nice. Live right here on Hummy Media Group's YouTube channel and on channelattitude.com after the fact. Till next time, peace out, and we'll see you soon. And bye.